anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Milano Cortina 2026 showcases record number of out queer Winter Olympians led by Team USA and Canada, redefining visibility worldwide.
Florida halts ADAP eligibility cuts after legal challenge, opening public review and preserving HIV medication access for thousands of residents.
Texas Republicans bar a far-right influencer over disruptive conduct. She claims political persecution despite a history of extremist anti-LGBTQ rhetoric.
Unproven claims say ski jumpers are injecting their penises with hyaluronic acid to gain a competitive edge. This has drawn WADA's attention ahead of the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics.
Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime with Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin celebrated queer joy, Latin pride, and love over hate, captivating global audiences worldwide. All this important LGBTQ plus news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Chuck. It is Monday, February 9th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out television network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk, standing strong by our healthcare pillar. Funds raised are matched dollar for dollar in support of our HIV policy reform and educational programs, including our MSM conference. We invite you to donate and join us on March 21st to walk in support of the Hotspots Happening Out teams. In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ television stories.
We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our magazine, events, television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Julio Capo Jr., a board member of the Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library. He's a history professor at Florida International University and the author of the book, Welcome to Fairyland, Queer Miami Before 1940. Welcome back to the show, Julio, but I got a question for you, Papi.
Yes.
So it's Monday, and you usually are teaching Monday. What are you doing here?
I knew you were going to be here, so I normally am not here because of you, but this time I decided mentira. I needed to be here. I've missed you. It's been too long. I hadn't seen Faye in a minute.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
That's 100% why I'm here.
You know what happened is that he saw the Super Bowl last night and got all revved up and then took today off. And that's why he's like, you know what? I'll come in and say.
I didn't see the Super Bowl, but I did see the Benito Bowl. And that was amazing. I did see both, but they were both amazing. Well, one was amazing and the other one was the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything. Benito was everything. Talk about the most perfect man in the world, other than Patrick.
Other than Patrick, of course, that we love.
But at a very close
put
second.
one of those cute little straw hats on Patrick. You won't even know.
Ay, Angelito de Dios. Angelito de Dios.
I love you. Julio, thank you for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome anchor Edward Otto Zielke. He's an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the world-famous gay men's chorus of South Florida. Yeah, you heard it right. He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee in his spare time, which is like Sunday at like 10:30 a.m. for like 10 minutes.
Oh,
welcome back to the show, Edward.
Now you told everybody when I'm available.
Edward, I love that there's a certain theme about some of your future events that are coming up, and it's my wife's favorite group of all time, ABBA. All right, tell us what's going on.
Wow. Well, first we've got a community sing-along coming up. It's going to be at Hunter's on March 7th from 3 to 5 p.m. It's going to be ABBA themed, so you'll be singing along to all of the ABBA songs that we've got there at Hunter's. So, and it's a membership drive. So make sure that all tickets are benefiting the Gay Men's Chorus. So come and check that out. And then in the few weeks later will be our ABBA concert. But I need to tell everybody that you got to go online right now and get tickets. There's maybe about 20 tickets left at this point. I mean, we're about
I didn't see that many.
About 6 weeks away from that, and so it's so incredible that we've got 20 seats left, and so yeah, we've already packed the house with it, and it's going to be so exciting to have this. It's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and the audience participation. So definitely, quick, go get on gmcsf.org and get your tickets.
And where is this incredible event going to be at?
It's going to be at the Parker.
Oh my God!
Sounds like
I love that venue.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You've only got a couple of tickets left. How about putting on another show?
I was thinking
another ABBA.
Well, you never know. Sometimes with popular demand and people, just kind of wanting the product, we'll see, and it's a lot to coordinate with members too, you have to get a second date and stuff, but you never know. Our membership is really excited about this concert, so it just might come to pass.
There's just something about ABBA that like unites people, right? And I don't even, it's joy. It's fun. It's like inclusivity. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know that they were a whole family group and sang. I had no idea. You know what I didn't know they were a family either. You know what I mean? Like, what's your favorite song?
Mine, I definitely relate to Mamma Mia. And only because that when I was first introduced to that, it was kind of like an underscore to like a reel that was being put out there by I forget the name who put it together, but it was always being played in the bars, like like a spoof thing where like it was Mommy Dearest. It was on there and it was like Mamma Mia. It was underscoring it. It was like this like clip reel, and it Dan somebody, but Dana Rama, but anyway, so like that was the type of music that I would hear in the bars, and I'd be like, wow, this is like something that I could really like dance to and get into back then. So yeah.
Oh my God! Do you know how many ABBA songs I danced to on the dance floor back in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where I grew up? Oh my God, the locage.
I have a question. Do they ever play ABBA in the Eagle by any chance?
We do. So on Friday,
really?
Yeah. So on Friday and Saturday night in the Bear Cave, it's all like pop top 40, like 70s, 80s, 90s, and like go in there and the Bears love it.
Really?
They're all dancing with their shirts off and having a great time.
Okay, which one is your favorite song, Chuck King?
Oh my God, I don't know. You don't put me on the spot like that.
A lot of pressure.
Julio?
Lay All Your Love. Lay All Your Love is my...
It's a great song.
Gimme.
Yes.
I knew you were going to ask. I was ready. I was in my head.
There's like
Dancing
Queen.
There's so many.
Queen.
There's so many. And folks, right? If you're like, oh, I don't know an ABBA song, you know because I was that person that was like, oh, aside from that movie, right? I was like, I only know those songs. No, you don't. Like, you hear them and you're like, oh my God, they sang this.
Well, and the amount
they
of
sang
time
this.
I mean, it's now a form of pop culture. I mean, it's become on Broadway. It's now in the movies and stuff.
And
So,
they're sampling them all the time. Like so many modern songs sample, even like, I mean, it's not that new anymore, but when Madonna sampled for
they'll take tracks from it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And everybody at this table was at one time a dancing queen. So.
Oh, what do you mean?
Once a time.
I still am.
How dare you, sir?
Well, Edward, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing and enjoying and participating at your incredible events featuring ABBA and the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida. And we're happy that you're back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
Thank you.
Let's welcome back to the table my friend, anchor Chuck King. Born in Milwaukee. That's where the cheese is? No.
That's where it is.
It is. And the beer. Now I got that. And so born in Milwaukee and a Wilton Manors resident since 2018, co-owns and manages Eagle Wilton Manors. He produces Florida Leather Week, Bears, Bikers, and Mayhem, which is one of my favorites, and other LGBTQIA events. A longtime community leader, he co-founded 2 nonprofits and was named to the 2024 Top 50 Out and Proud list. So Chuck, Winter Waves 2 Valentine's Day Pool Party fundraiser is almost here. It's happening February 14th. Tell me what's happening out.
So we do these pool parties to raise money to help pay for things like Lauderdale Tropical Bear Week, Florida Leather Week, things like that. And they're great fundraisers. They're incredibly fun. Tickets are like $45. And it's literally hundreds of men. It is a clothing optional resort, so unfortunately women aren't allowed at this one.
Okay.
But in spirit, Faye, you will be there with us.
You know I'm there.
Oh,
in
absolutely. So it's a great time. We had one in January. It was very well attended, and it looks like the weather's going to be almost 80 degrees and sunny. So get your tickets today. You can find your tickets at LauderdaleTropicalBearWeek.com or at it's rbkproductions.com.
What a wonderful way to spend your Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
With other cute boys from around the way and others visiting and just having and also for a good cause. I mean, that's right there in itself, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, your Tropical Bear Week, it's growing and growing and growing every year more and more. How is your man dealing with the stress? See, I'm not asking you about you.
He doesn't. No, it's good. He doesn't deal with the stress. No, he does. He actually is incredibly gracious and he is very understanding because my life is very crazy, but in a good way. So yeah, he's very, very supportive.
That's great.
I love that.
Hi, Corey.
I love that. And so where can people get tickets for the pool party and also get passes for the Bear Week as well?
Sure. So you can find tickets for the pool party. You can go on the Eagle website, eaglebarwm.com. You can also go to rbktickets.com, or you can find the tickets on Dice by searching Winter Waves 2 Pool Party.
I love the name of it too, right? Like
Yeah.
Winter
Very
Waves
fun.
2. I mean, we're in South Florida, baby. It doesn't get cold
That's
here.
right.
We're not getting any snow, all right? So the clothing optional is encouraged. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at Winter Waves 2 Valentine's Day Pool Party fundraiser on February 14th.
And of course, let's welcome the fabulous tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots, Happening Out's The FayWhat Show, and so much more. That is not enough to talk about how wonderful Faye is. She paid me to say all of that.
All of it.
Faye Upside Down Musical turns the world on its head in South Florida through February 14th. Tell me what's going on.
So get ready for laughter, music, and meaning as Upside Down has made its South Florida premiere at the Arts at CSL. That's the Center for Spiritual Living. Running through February 14th, this bold musical arrives with off-Broadway buzz and a story unlike anything you've seen before. In a world where women rule the world, straight love is forbidden, and the Miami Dolphins never lose. One couple dares to challenge the system. Enjoy performances on Fridays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Funny, thought-provoking, and unforgettable. This is a must-see event. Tickets available at cslfortlauderdale.org. And your girl gets I get to play the President of the United States.
All right, let's break this down. Let's break this
Which
down.
is amazing. Listen, folks, imagine a world where 90% of the world was gay and 10% was straight, right? And people wanted to put on a Broadway show about straights in the military. And the president, moi, has already filed an executive order against all of that. All of that, you know, where I'm like, straight people, no way, all right? Would we treat straight people how we are sometimes treated right now in this
Is that
day
the
and
kind
age?
of question, the kind of big question?
This is, well, no, this,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah, I
you
love
know?
that.
it does, and again, it also doesn't stop the point that we're dealing with all this ICE stuff, we're dealing with all this immigration stuff, and a Latina lesbian is the president of the United States. You know what I mean? Like, I go off on Spanish tangents and nobody knows what the hell I'm saying. It's beautiful.
I love it.
So.
And so you sing too, right?
Oh God, why'd you have to bring that up, Chuck? Like, people see that when they get there.
I have my 2 tickets for Saturday's matinee, so I'm definitely going. I'm going to be sitting right in the front row cheering Faye
I've heard
on.
nothing but rave reviews.
It sounds incredible, I mean, and just to think about it, if you turn the world upside down, and it's like, would we really treat each other? And I that's a good question, because I think from life experiences, sometimes when you've been beaten down, like, and I speak about myself in certain areas, you build up that like armor for yourself. So, you just have to wonder like what the world would be like, in terms of all that. Yeah.
Well, to put yourself in someone else's shoes, that's a powerful perspective to
100%. And it's thought-provoking. It makes you think, and it makes you talk, and just like being able to talk to the audiences after, there's been like a mixed amount of people, like, gays, straights, all kinds of people, like all in one room looking at this, right? And you hear the gasps, and like some of the audience members get really involved and like, like screen things, that are going on, like just to be part of the show. But that's how involved they get to this,
Amazing.
I want to give a big shout out to Bill Olson and John Pritchard they saw me hosting an event. I was hosting Take Pride at the Galleria Mall, and they said, we need that energy to be our president.
Wow.
And that's how I got the role. So my first time on a theater stage, my first time singing, my first time having to learn lines, like
amazing.
Wow.
all of it, and I couldn't thank them anymore, because it's opened up another avenue that I never thought I could even peek into, if that makes any sense at all.
I can't wait. We're going to be seeing all your charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent all at one night. It's going to be fabulous.
Really, and also just congratulations. I mean, to continue, you're always pushing yourself. You're always community-centered. This is just another example of you showing us that it's always an important part to kind of push ourselves to do different things away. Because I mean, you're so good on stage, and this is just like a natural next step, and like that's not easy to do. And I feel like it takes a lot, and it's admirable. And I love you for it.
Thank you so much. I mean, and it's something so completely different. Like, I've noticed that I'm used to leading the charge, right? Like, okay, hey folks, trust me. I'm going to tell you that these next acts are incredible and why, and you're going to trust me and you're going to have a great time, right? With this, I'm part of an ensemble. If I do something wrong, it affects the next person, and I don't want that to happen at all.
And you're all there to pick each other up, too.
So I mean, what a wonderful thing.
Yeah, the best art comes from like pushing yourself into an uncomfortable situation and making yourself be comfortable. And so, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you. Ronnie Larson came over the weekend to see the show, and he's like, "You're going to be in my next play. I don't care what you say."
Look what you started.
You're hired.
Oh my God.
I mean,
I'm naked.
I'm like, I can't be in cocksucker. I'm like, I can't be in cocksucker.
I think,
but the truck stop Sally, maybe I could totally work
got
with
her
that
name. Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you, and we'll all be there at Upside Down Musical through February 14th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up sports. More out queer athletes than ever hit the 2026 Winter Olympics. It's finally time for the 2026 Winter Olympics, and history is being made on ice and snow. There will be more out queer athletes at the Milano Cortina Olympics than have ever competed at the Winter Games before. After a record-breaking 193 out athletes at the 2024 Paris Olympics, representation remains strong this winter. According to Outsports, Team USA and Team Canada lead the way with 3% of the American team identifying as LGBTQ+. Viewers will see queer athletes across major events, including couples competing together, rivals facing off, and trailblazers redefining what Olympic visibility looks like. For Team USA, that includes women's hockey legend Hilary Knight, a 5-time Olympian with 1 gold and 3 silvers alongside teammates Alex Carpenter, a 2-time silver medalist, and Kayla Barnes, who first made history as Team USA's youngest Olympic player. In speed skating, Olympic newcomers meet veterans, with Connor McDermott Mustawi making his debut and Brittany Bowe, a 4-time Olympian and world record holder, returning as a medal favorite. Figure skating history is made as Amber Glenn becomes the first out queer woman to compete in U.S. women's singles. Alpine skier Breezy Johnson earned the first 2026 gold medal for USA, while snowboarder Maddie Shafrick completes a powerful comeback after a decade away. For queer fans, this Winter Olympics isn't just about medals, it's about visibility. Let the games begin. You know, I gotta tell you that I never, ever was someone who watched the Olympics. It just wasn't my thing. I'm not really like sporty spice lesbian. It's not what I like, right? But it wasn't until these athletes made it important to be out.
Yes.
That I started following them on social and then following them and supporting them by watching, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're literally representing us and being in harm's way, being in countries where they can't be gay. I can go on, yet they're still being their true authentic self, you know? And you know, and their family without us even knowing who they are, you know, without them knowing who we are, you know? So this makes me so excited to know that we've got even more out competitors and that we've already won one medal. I mean, this is exciting all around.
It is.
Anybody see the opening?
I saw parts of it, but it was very avant-garde and very like, you know, Italian designer type of, you know, costumes. It was really, really, really cool and special. It was very, very well put together. Definitely a whole different kind of spin than like if the Chinese or the Japanese had done it, because they do it very flashy with lasers and all that. It was a very different kind of a show, but very well done, very beautiful.
So are you boys going to watch any of it? Do you usually like?
For somebody, I don't tune into a lot of sports, but, you know, when I start to see representation of LGBTQ, I get very curious because, you know, I want to see, you know, in terms of, you know, what we're doing and how it's being represented, you know, globally, you know, and it's so wonderful to see like the Olympics and there's more athletes, like you were saying, coming out. And it's so inspiring because, you know, when I was growing up, there was no representation. Like the few people, like I remember like Billie Jean King and you know, just pioneering for us, you know, and it feels like a parallel like it is with Hollywood, the sports arena. It's kind of like, you know, we went through that with the 90s with Ellen and stuff and just getting that out. And so, you know, you're standing on the shoulders of people that have come before you. And it's such a wonderful to see like all of these names out there, you know, just playing something that they love.
I play a lot of in a number of like, you know, local sports leagues like this. And I have to say, like, one of the things that I love seeing in this kind of space, right, is that like, not only are they out in making a big difference for representation, but they're also changing the culture. So like for the other 97% of the people who are there, like they make sure in some ways, and it's so much pressure that has to be on their shoulders to be like, you know, what you said in the locker room wasn't okay. What you said, like there's so much kind of pressure on them, but that is, they're really path breakers and thinking about how they are chipping away at some of the worst parts of, you know, the toxicity in these kinds of spaces. And for that, not only are they leading the way, but they're changing things for folks to say like, hey, I can do that. Like, and then it's beautiful to watch. I don't normally watch the Olympics either, but
We're so gay. Everybody at this table is so gay.
So I was disappointed about one thing. So not the competitive stuff. I usually watch that a little bit later because usually the first couple days are like qualifiers and stuff. But I don't know if you saw when Charlize Theron came out and she spoke. I was really disappointed that she didn't use the word sexual orientation in describing about the inclusivity of the sports. So I was a little disappointed with that. But other than that,
been an opportunity.
You know, things have looked really good so far.
I missed that, but that's a good point.
And I miss Tom Daly. That's all. I liked him a lot. I liked him a lot, you know?
Great.
Oh, and the figure skaters, okay? Anything in a cute little outfit, we watch. I mean, hello, you know?
That's a beautiful sport.
It is.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
And I like to see more, you know, LGBTQ plus representation around that too.
Yeah. And we did a story last week about how Grindr's protecting some of the players by just doing different filters, so it's not all, somebody can't just see where they're at if they're in the Olympic Village, you know, which I thought was, what a cool thing for Grindr to do. They don't have to. You know what I mean?
Grindr often does. They step up often. I have to say, sometimes they have really like that's incredible to hear. I didn't know that.
100%.
I'm Julio Capo, and let's queer up health. HIV meds saved for now. Florida halts ADAP cuts. Florida health officials are hitting pause on a controversial plan that could have cut off life-saving HIV medication for thousands of low-income residents after a legal challenge from advocates. Earlier this month, the Florida Department of Health announced plans to sharply reduce eligibility for Florida AIDS Drug Assistance Program, or ADAP. The proposal would have dropped the income limit from 400% of the federal poverty level to just 130%, potentially stripping access to treatment for as many as 16,000 Floridians. That move sparked swift action from the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, AHF, which filed a complaint alleging the state failed to follow required rulemaking procedures. AHF also filed a separate lawsuit seeking records tied to what it calls a, quote, undocumented $120 million budget shortfall, end quote. Now the state appears to be backing off its March 1st deadline. According to local reporting, the department has published notice of proposed rule changes, triggering a mandatory public review period. AHF's Esteban Wood said the delay proves, quote, the department's action makes clear that legal processes have not been followed. Floridians will now have a say in what happens to this program and its effect on them. It will also provide needed transparency, and the department has not shown why it needs to make these harmful changes and show how it now has a claimed $120 million deficit, end quote. The fight comes amid broader concern over HIV funding, following proposed cuts during the Trump administration and rollbacks to U.S. aid programs. Researchers warn this could have deadly global consequences. For now, advocates say transparency and treatment remain on the line. This is so incredibly serious and so dire. And I have to say, just to start, so grateful for AHF, for the work that they're doing to advocate for not just those 16,000 people who would, but for all of us, right? Because this is healthcare.
Yeah.
And once they come for one of us, they come for all of us. This is, treatment is so necessary, and prevention is so necessary, right? There is what we're doing globally with these kinds of decisions with USAID, which is mentioned in the story. We're already seeing the consequences of that. It's dire to see it happen so at our local level and our state level. So thank you to the nonprofits. Thank you to we have so many great folks here locally, from SunServe to Broward House. Thank you for all the people who are doing the work on the ground to make sure folks are informed, and making sure they have access in this really, really
and that they're still
moment.
Supported. You know what I mean? There was an emergency meeting done by AHF right here at Sunshine Cathedral that I went to last week.
That's right.
And all the nonprofits were there represented, and everybody had questions, and there were people that were scared for March 1st to get here and for them to lose their meds, and they had real dire questions. They were worried about their health. Folks that had been on their meds for years, for years, you know, not being on this particular med for a couple of months is not even like an option, you know, like.
In this moment of economic crunch, when people are hurting so much, and to think like this moment of high inflation, to think and then to say also you won't have access to life-saving meds. Yep, it's dire.
It's a really serious thing, and you know they want to bring it down to where people only making like less than $12,000 a year.
Yeah, it's 20,345, which is about $1,300 a month. Which who can live on that?
Poverty, like the idea that poverty is somehow changed. I mean, yeah,
and I believe right now it's set at like around 70,000, I think, which is a reasonable number, but we have to remember these drugs cost thousands of dollars monthly. And I know some of the people that were on this program, like they also have to, like, some of them have to switch medications because the state doesn't want to cover like this medication, they want to cover this medication instead. So they're forcing people to like switch medications, and that's bad. Like if a medication is working for someone,
of course,
you can't screw with that.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, and sometimes a generic won't work for certain people.
Absolutely.
All sorts of reasons.
Absolutely. So it's terrible, and I really, really hope AHF is doing a great job. And if it happens here in Florida, it's going to happen elsewhere. So we need to all be in this fight together.
Yeah, but this is not generosity that they're trying to give us a handout and allowing for this to happen also. Don't take that, you know, don't get it twisted either. You know what I mean? This is also against the law to do something like this and give people a month notice, you know. The folks at this emergency meeting were telling folks to get a 90-day supply of your meds just in case, okay? Like, you know, just protect yourself in case. You know, the unknown is the unknown.
All of us need to be up in arms about this. This is enormous.
You know.
I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up politics. MAGA influencer barred from Texas GOP after anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric. A far-right MAGA social media influencer known for anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric is claiming political persecution after being barred from Texas Republican Party events. But local GOP leaders say the ban is about behavior, not ideology. Valentina Gomez, who has more than 400,000 followers online, alleged in an Instagram video that the Republican Party of Texas is, quote, so corrupt, end quote. It banned her from the events and even stripped her of her right to vote. She offered no evidence for either claim. Gomez says the fallout came after she criticized the health of an 84-year-old congressman and claims she is under investigation by multiple federal agencies. Election officials have not confirmed any action affecting her voter registration. Local Republicans tell a different story. According to a reporting by the Williamson County Sun, Gomez was barred from after the altercation at a GOP gathering. County GOP Chair Michelle Evans said, quote, the type of self-serving behavior displayed Saturday is unacceptable in this context, and this candidate has been informed that she has no longer permitted to attend our private events or meetings, end quote. Gomez previously ran and lost badly in a 2024 Missouri primary marked by anti-gay slurs and attack on trans people. LGBTQ watchdog GLAAD has documented her use of dehumanizing language, and Meta later disabled her Instagram for repeated policy violations. Despite condemnation, including from the Republicans, Gomez is now running in Texas, doubling down on extremist anti-LGBTQ+ and anti-Muslim rhetoric. Well,
that's a lot.
That is definitely a lot. It just sounds, it does feel very like, see me, this is all about me. And I'm just going to say something totally outrageous so that I can gain popularity and have some followers. It does feel like that. And it's also really funny, too, that your own party, half of your party is, dead set against you. So there's so much to unpack there. She's just trying to be disruptive.
Oh, my God. Is she related to Trump? Or, I mean, it's like his daughter.
Right.
Jesus.
I mean, this is how people think that this is the way to get attention for themselves. I feel.
But when the Republican Party of Texas thinks you're too fringe, I mean, like that. I don't even know how to wrap my head around it.
The Republican Party basically told her, "You are too messy.
Yeah,
you can't come and sit with us no more." Think about that.
It's a lot to wrap your
like,
head
come
around.
on, And I, for one, need to mention that her last name is Gomez, and if she is Latina, my God, girl, come on, go get a clue. A flamethrower? Like, I mean, I don't even understand that. And then, like, you're going to go and interrupt services at a church? Like, that's just disgusting.
Well, the imagery, as I was watching the video, it's so preposterous that it almost looks like AI. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, that's how cartoonish it looks. Like, I mean, like, this idea of, like, it's almost like type in, what I don't even know what you would say this, like, as like a kind of fringe person would like
who's unhinged.
Like,
there, she would come out.
Fragile, unhinged, yes.
And like this is what pops out of, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, why would anyone need a flamethrower? Like, it's like Dungeons and Dragons or something. Like,
come on, ironic. Like, why isn't the Republican Party, the GOP party, going after Trump? He does far worse.
Way worse.
Right.
Far worse.
Way worse. You know why? Do you want to know why, Chuck? Because her last name is Gomez.
Well, that, and she's a woman. She's a woman. I mean, come on. It's where does it? Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm Chuck King, and let's queer up sports. Penisgate, yes, Penisgate, puts Olympic ski jumping under the microscope. A bizarre new controversy is swirling around the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics, and it's being dubbed Penisgate. According to reports, ski jumpers are under scrutiny for allegedly injecting their penises with hydrochloric acid to gain a competitive edge. The theory, increasing bulge size, allows athletes to qualify for larger suits, which can translate into longer jumps. The World Anti-Doping Agency is now paying attention, the first issue that surfaced in Germany's Bild following past suit-related scandals. In 2025, Norwegian skiers Marius Lundvik and Johan Andre Forfang were banned after altering seams of their suits to boost performance. So far, there's no concrete proof of injections or enhancements. Still, WADA says nothing is off the table. For now, Penisgate remains a rumor, but it's the one Olympic world can't ignore. Men will stop at nothing to have a giant penis. I swear, I know so many people have done, like, PRP injections and like these hyaluronic acid. And I mean, to say that it's for like aerodynamics, I mean, come on. What? You'll stop at nothing to have a giant penis. Come on.
Boys, I swear. And boys at home, don't try this, okay? Because I know people that are right there going, oh, you know. Do you boys remember the Olympics where the French guy had a big bulge?
Yeah.
And
he had to go over the vault.
Oh, I
and he
remember.
was a pole
I
jumper, was it called?
remember
Pole
that.
vaulter, whatever. Right?
Pole,
yeah, that. And he jumped
we all
over
saw it.
and his stuff got stuck, and you know, that was like a big deal. So like, penis is always making news when it comes to the Olympics.
Right.
I mean,
I thought that clip was super hot. Like I did. I was very like turned on by it. It was a sexy moment.
You watched it over and over, didn't you?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But you see, this is how men and women differ. Like, I would never inject my boobies with something to make them, oh, wait, no, I did. I got plastic surgery. Okay, forget I said that. All right.
I'm curious to know how this came about. Like, how did somebody all of a sudden say, oh, you know what, if I inject my penis, then I can get, a little bit more, that. And then all of a sudden it finding out in like the Olympics. Like, how does
this is hard math? It's right. It's really. I mean, the algebra equations and the physics.
Is it like turning into like a flying squirrel that like they kind of fly quicker or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
The weight. It seems to make it way more.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's because you didn't have a larger.
You get the jacket and you get the outfit or whatever.
Right,
that's heavier.
And then you go faster.
And then you go.
But I don't understand why having a heavier
like
suit.
Cone, then,
that's my guess, is that it creates a greater velocity. Because
this must have been a locker room conversation that must have been overheard, because I can't imagine some people getting together and say, this is how we're going to
scientists. I mean, you're science scholars at work. I also imagine, to be fair, we don't actually know that this is true.
No,
it's all
it's
myth.
a rumor.
But
would you put it past you boys?
No.
You boys do fun stuff.
Listen,
hello.
I know all about
us?
hyaluronic acid, and I'm not. I'm not going to confirm or deny that I know a lot about this, but I haven't done it myself. I will say that. But I know some people close to me that have.
So it is a thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, we'll keep on looking at all the bulges during the Olympics. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up entertainment. Bad Bunny turned Super Bowl halftime into a queer joy parade. In Super Bowl 2026, Bad Bunny delivered a halftime show that was loud, colorful, and proudly queer inclusive, proving that in his world, everyone is invited to the party. Opening with Titi Me Preguntó, Bad Bunny leaned into fan favorite energy before serving bold moves during Yo Perreo Sola, which I do. Yeah. So the track famously paired with a drag-filled music video. Midway through the set, the field parted to reveal the one and only Lady Gaga, who joined him for a reimagined performance of Die With a Smile. The celebration continued with an explosive Nueva York before a second surprise guest appeared. None other than Ricky Martin took to the stage, delivering powerful vocals on Lo Que Le Pasó a Hawaii. The show also featured celebrities spotted throughout the crowd, including Cardi B, Pedro Pascal, Karol G, Jessica Alba, and Alex Earl. Long targeted by conservatives who mocked his Spanish-language music and questioned his sexuality, Bad Bunny answered with art, unity, and joy. He closed with Debel tirar más fotos, holding up international flags and shouting out countries of all the Americas. The NFL shared a post praising the show that said, quote, "The only thing more powerful than hate is love," end quote. The halftime show brought in an estimated 150 million viewers during the live show, and the video on NFL's official YouTube channel has already been viewed over 13 million times. Wow. I mean, like, what a night, what an incredible concert, right? Because I didn't even know who the hell was playing, nor did I care, right? Like, so many people that don't usually watch the Super Bowl were watching yesterday. I feel that everybody was. I think that everybody queer was because they wanted to see themselves. I think that everybody Latino was because they wanted to see themselves. I think everybody who's an immigrant wanted to see themselves, you know? It was just such a beautiful thing how he encompassed so much in 12 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, he told stories, he uplifted, he gave Puerto Rican history. You know, I was raised by a Puerto Rican family. All my brothers are Puerto Rican. You know, I've been to, you know, my family's from Ponce, and they were in the streets watching this. You know, they had huge watch parties everywhere. You know, people dancing in the streets to his music, which is what I think he wanted. You know, the fact that 10 years ago, I'm getting goosebumps. The fact that 10 years ago, this man was packing groceries for folks, and now he was on the world's biggest stage, singing in Spanish. You know, I knew plenty of people. I had a little party at my house. I had people there that don't speak Spanish, and they were enjoying every moment of it, dancing throughout, you know, trying to catch the celebrities because there was so much going on all at once in 12 minutes. It was like overload. I was exhausted by the 12 minutes, like if I had been dancing, which I have been dancing though. But, you know, there's so much there. Boys, I want to hear everything from you, and I'll probably throw in more.
To me, he is everything. I've been a stan for many years. I've been listening to his music since 2018 easily. And my sister and I finally got to see him in concert 2 years ago. I threw my panties on stage. No, I didn't, but I wish I had. And but he's always been deeply political. And it's so clear that his love for his people, like, I mean, like for our country, people, for our country,
for Puerto Rico,
and I mean that, like, it's always been about inclusivity. He's changing the game in every single way. There's no toxic masculinity here. In fact, he like embraces the idea that he is the anti that. Like, I mean, he's just kind of changed. I mean, it's so beautiful to watch. And it's people have said like, oh, he's queer baiting or gay. He can gay bait me all he wants. Like, and what I mean by that is because it's so genuine. It's very genuine. That's what we want from artists. We can't have it both ways.
And he kept on calling, you know, like, we're Americans. We. He would continue to say, and God bless America. I mean, like, you know, things that when we hear from the far right, we get cringy about it.
Right. But his America, right, that is because it's all of our Americas, is inclusive. And like, that's the difference. It's like when he explains it, he's like, and also by that, I mean, and he literally listed everybody. And it was like beautiful.
I was thoroughly entertained. Yeah. And, you know, I'm somebody like, you know, that doesn't really tune into these things a lot, you know, sports in general. But, you know, I was curious to watch the halftime show with this. And, you know, I just walked away like, wow, this was so amazing. And there was so much going on. Like you said, you know, there were so many things to see and look at. And it was so much joy being represented. And like, you could just feel it amongst everybody, just performing in it, being a part of it. And there was great messages of inclusivity. And it was just felt so positive. I felt like, for the first time in a long time, I was proud to be an American. No, really, because it just, the whole presentation, even before the halftime shows, before that too, it just felt so inclusive, and I felt so proud in that moment to be an American. Yeah. I forgot all of the other noise that was going on in the world at that moment, and I think that's what I needed.
And I think he brought everybody in that way. Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like, he made it a point. Like, he really didn't say, oh, us and them. It was never that, or us Latinos. It was never ever that. It was us Americans, and
I didn't care that I didn't understand what was being sung or whatever. I was entertained, and like, you know, that's part of expanding your mind and part of like learning about new culture.
Yeah.
But the other, I also, it was deeply political, and like, to me, like, it did really important cultural work. Like, that is like, it tells this beautiful 400-year history. I mean, like, he begins with colonialism and ends with like modern tourism and the hurricane. Like, he did a lot in a very short period of time. Like, even the opening song for, like, if people don't know Titi Me Preguntó, Titi, it's one of my favorite songs of his. It's this idea of like him being at the dinner table with his family. We've all been in this space, and queer folks know this probably better. And your family like grilling you on like, who are you dating? And like,
why do you have so many girlfriends? Right. So when are you going to settle down?
As a gay boy, you're like, oh, I've definitely been in that space. Yeah. I've definitely felt like I had to kind of like, oh, she's my best friend, you know, like whatever. Yeah. And like, he's really smart. Like he understands that this resonates with people on so many different levels. Yeah. And I mean, El Apagón, the same thing about the blackouts in Puerto Rico. He is deeply political, and in ways that I think, you know, people might have gotten hints of it, and even then that's enough. Just to see him out there singing in Spanish, unabashedly being himself, welcoming us all in. Yep. He is everything. I have one criticism, and it's not of him because he is perfect, and there's no...
Wait, before you say your criticism, because I know your criticism, let me mention one thing, okay? Please. So the electrical post, right? When he was up on the electrical post, right? And the other dancers were dancing on the electrical post, but they would fall off, etc., blah, 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 right? So after Maria, you know, there was blackouts, right? And they could not get the power grids to work again, and they kept on waiting and waiting for the government to do their jobs.
Right.
And unfortunately, you know, they were
Took a long
trumped up
time.
and all that kind of stuff during that time. And so people themselves started going up there to try to get things working again. And that was what that part meant, you know, I mean, and that was one of at least 15 different historical things that he taught us about Puerto Rico yesterday.
Yeah.
Him giving us giving the small boy the Grammy, who had a striking resemblance to Liam, and like, and it also looks like a young, like what he probably would have looked like
him.
He was young. He looked like him.
And that representation, what that meant, especially in the times that we're in right now.
Especially as young people are being deported, are being entertained, and like, I mean, the story that is like, if it was Liam, if it wasn't Liam, that's been debated, and it's not, right? But that is, it doesn't matter. He's such a powerful storyteller. Yeah. We all got the image, and we understood what was happening.
And again, not even knowing the language, you didn't have to know the language to get part of the story or to feel that joy, you know? So now let's get
my one little criticism, and I mean it with love, because I don't want to be one of those people who's like, nothing could ever be right, because also that's untrue, because it was perfect and I would change nothing about it except this one thing.
Wow.
I love Lady Gaga like no one else. I mean, I just love her. I don't think this was her space. And what I mean by that is, like, this was a really big platform. I would have loved to have seen another Latina in that space.
Mm-hmm. And there are so many Latinos.
Cardi B was there. I would have loved to have seen Cardi B. And like, she had her own show. She had her moment. It was beautiful. She did amazing. I think it kind of felt to me a little bit like when Madonna did La Isla Bonita. Like, it's like, you know, like, which is fine. It also feels like inclusivity, bringing people. But there, you know, I was thinking even Selena Gomez, Selena Gomez or Christina Aguilera, people who are a little farther removed from some parts of their heritage, like just because they're third generation or whatever generation they are, not that they're just as Latina, but like that is it would have been really beautiful to also have seen this space, like the way he did with Ricky Martin, which felt like the passing of the baton or something,
which was
right?
Beautiful.
Like, not to say, I mean, it doesn't mean that it all has to be an all Latina show, but it has the power to do something. It's a platform for artists who might not otherwise. Rosalia, Cardi B was there.
Well, if you see, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar last year, right? Yeah. All the dancers were black. Yeah. All the people that he brought on stage with him were black, right? And it was black authenticity, and it was in your face, and you got to learn about it. Same thing yesterday. So I'm understanding what you're saying now in that aspect. You know what I mean? It should have been all.
It could be at least a platform for someone who didn't already have that shot. And like Lady Gaga had that shot, 4 years ago, 5 years, whatever it was. I don't know. And I love Lady, again, this is not, maybe we complain about everything.
Maybe. Take it back.
I don't take it back.
All right.
Bad Bunny just said yes, so I say yes.
On a high note. So, you know, you're a terrible human.
I am an awful person. I'm leaving.
Goodness.
No, I agree with you. And, you know, as a cis white gender male, I really appreciated the show. It was truly a lesson in why we should celebrate each other's differences and love the fact that we are different and we all have just really different backgrounds. And it was beautiful. Yeah. So I applaud Bad Bunny. I think it was a great show. And I'm kind of jealous that I'm not Latin. You know?
Oh, baby, you are. So, we can make you Latin right now. Beep, you're done. You're done.
Right. I think I'm also becoming a Bad Bunny stan, you know. I just really like him. He's just so likable.
I love that.
Also, he's gorgeous.
I love that. So I'm going to ask a question that probably nobody wants to hear right now, but did anybody tune into the other thing?
No.
Oh.
No. And I think they only have...
There was something else?
Yeah. So we don't even have to talk about that shit show. But I think there were only like 5 million viewers. It was a very, very small number. There were actually more viewers of the Puppy Bowl at 12 million than there was of that bullshit.
Oh, okay. But the Puppy Bowl was great.
I did tune in. I did see that. It was cute as hell.
I don't even think I know what that is. But
Animal Planet. They have puppies and they play football.
They play football.
And they play it all day long.
Yeah.
What?
It's so cute. Good. And it's all rescue pups and they all find homes.
I have never heard of this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I bet you Patrick has. We're going to ask your boo. I bet you he knows. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine highlights everything to know about Cirque du Soleil's LUZIA. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine, Hotspots, is back with a feature on Cirque du Soleil's visually stunning production, LUZIA, opening February 19th under the Big Top at Gulfstream Park. The show invites audiences into a surreal, dreamlike Mexico filled with breathtaking acrobatics, vibrant color, and even rain on stage. A Cirque touring first. LUZIA runs through April 26th and promises wonder at every turn. This feature story and many more are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands Thursday, February 12th. So, I mean, I love anything Cirque du Soleil. I mean, I don't even know. I think they're like on their 50th show at this point, and it doesn't matter. And they still reinvent themselves each time. You know, I'm like, when I read this and I'm like, oh, this is the first time they've had water? I think I've seen one with water before.
Friends for water.
And I think they all have water.
They all have water. There might be water on stage. Right. Patrick and I are taking my sister and my niece. We took my niece to see the Disney one. There's like a Disney version in Disney, and she loved it. And now, so we're gonna take her. I can't wait. It's gorgeous. I'm so excited.
Oh, and you have time to still get tickets for Valentine's Day. Honestly, it runs till April, so it's still a cute little gift, right?
You know, I'm gonna just proclaim this is the year of the Latinos, because I mean, even Cirque du Soleil.
Even Cirque du Soleil has.
I love that.
I love that.
I love that, and the music.
Thalia could have been. I just realized Thalia. Sorry, another artist. Hide me.
Julio keeps on thinking of people that should have been in the Cirque.
No,
don't mind him.
no, I'm such a monster.
He's here.
Back to Cirque du Soleil. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. GayDays Orlando pauses 2026 event. GayDays Orlando has announced a pause of its June 2026 event following what organizers described as extensive evaluation and many difficult conversations. Leadership cited major changes to the host hotel agreement, the loss of key corporate sponsorships affecting queer events nationwide, and broader challenges impacting pride events across the country. Organizers said these factors made it impossible to deliver the experience the community expects and deserves. The team emphasized its long-standing mission and said the pause will allow time to reimagine a stronger, more sustainable future event. Oh goodness, I find this so sad. And I have to say, like, you know, let's keep an eye on I feel like we'll learn more about exactly what happens soon, because any way that we can continue supporting what I think is a really important tradition in our community.
Right, and they've been around forever. Like the Red Shirt Day at Disney, right? Like that's such a beautiful thing that I remember being a little gay and seeing a sea of red shirts and going, oh my God, there's more people like me, you know? And it just giving you a feel of inclusion, you know? What they were able to do with Disney was ginormous. So let's take this as a pause. I mean, they said it's a pause.
It's a good word.
That's it. You know, it's not easy, and I think that you can attest more to this. It's not easy to put on events like this.
No,
okay, 3, 4, 5 day events like this. I mean, the production aspect, the behind the scenes, the sponsorships, all of that.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I can tell you, we had to put our Bears, Beckers, Mayhem event on hold because it's just the economy is not good right now for some of these events. Some of them are thriving, some of them are not. Tropical Bear Week is doing really well, but the hotel situation with our particular event last year was just incredibly high. And the sponsors, it's really difficult to find sponsor money right now. So, I totally feel for them.
You feel for them, yeah.
I feel it's a very good, responsible decision that they made. You know, I mean, it's very difficult to really just sit there and say, you know what, this isn't the year to really do this, because it is getting very difficult in terms of sponsorship money and stuff where you can, you know, partner with people, because people are concerned about what's going on in the state, you know, and people are being defunded left and right. I know for arts and culture organizations, it's been quite a struggle to get, you know, any type of government funding, you know, so it's hard. And so when you're in these situations, you know, I applaud that they just say that, you know what, let's just wait it out. This isn't the year. Let's reinvent it. So that way we're more prepared, you know, with the budget that maybe we need to like work with next year.
Yeah, and look, and midterms are right around the corner.
Exactly.
I mean,
so
all
of
that,
change,
you know,
so
next much
year.
Unknown, you know.
So why invest all of this money and bankrupt yourselves and then no longer be a service?
Or be able to offer that quality that you're so used to giving your people. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, if I change the hotel, it's not going to be as badass. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do it, you know? Like, you've got to respect them for that.
Exactly.
And also, it's not just government funding, it's corporate sponsors who are really backing out in really high numbers. So, like, also just to try, when you are enjoying an event, you thank the ones who are helping you and, like, really support them. And also, like, whenever someone's posting these events, make sure you support them soon, right? Because they're not guaranteed next year.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you kind of show up now.
Yep.
Yeah. They cost thousands of dollars to put on, and we do it for our community.
That's right.
So if you like these events, you got to support.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Stonewall Gala 2026 honors LGBTQ plus icons. The Stonewall Gala 2026 theme, Standing on the Shoulders of Heroes, takes place Saturday, February 21st from 6 to 9 p.m. at the venue in Fort Lauderdale. The fundraiser will honor philanthropist John Stryker, former Congressman Barney Frank, and singer-songwriter Janice Ian. All three have been inducted into the Standing on the Shoulders of Heroes Traveling exhibition, recognizing their lasting impact on LGBTQ+ rights and culture. The evening will include cocktails, dinner, and community. What a great way to just, celebrate three icons in our community, giving back. It's just so wonderful to, we should always be honoring the people that have, shown the advocacy in the past and, and into the present, spanning over decades, a lot of these people, their accomplishments here. So
100%. We forget, right? I mean, and even like the newer generation, they forget the shoulders that they're standing on. You're a teacher, you're a professor, you know what that is, we have to give a big shout out to Robert Keston over there at Stonewall. He's also an anchor here on Queer News Tonight, and just an exceptional human. He works, lives, breathes, Stonewall. And Stonewall is more important now than ever when they're trying to erase us from history, right? American history is LGBTQ history. American history is Black history. So it's scary times, and he has made it his mission to make sure that those pieces of archives are there, and there's a lot.
And it's so wonderful. Even the chorus has its own little section there too, and it's so important because these are the things that LGBTQ+ people 50 years from now will be looking back and saying, this is how they did it.
I started as an intern at Stonewall in 2006, and now I serve on their board. I've been on their board for many years. It's a perfect place. Like, it's just such an important pillar of our community, as everything you said, Faye. And when I think this is a special year. Patrick and I, we bought a table. We'll be there. We hope to see everyone there. But one of the things, I met Barney Frank one year. I used to teach at UMass Amherst. I taught there for almost a decade before coming back home. I'm from Miami. And one time I met him, I had to tell you a story. It's funny. I was teaching LGBT history that semester. And he was like, what do you do here? And I'm like, oh, I teach history. And he's like, what kind of history? And I go, I teach LGBT history. And he's like, I'm LGBT history. And I thought it was amazing. And I was like, yes, you are, sir. You 100% are. And he was so funny and so interesting. That. It was a perfect moment. I have an awkward photo of him like just hugging him. But he is gay history. And that's why we are honoring him and the other two incredible path breakers. So please join.
Please join.
LGBTQ News 1-minute news story. Let's queer up gay culture. Island House Key West marks 50 golden years. In 2026, Island House Key West will celebrate 50 years as a global landmark in queer travel and culture. Founded in 1976, the resort helped define the gay hospitality long before it was mainstream. Expanded under owners Martin Kay and John Allen, Island House earned international acclaim, including repeated Best Gay Resort in the World honors. A year-long Golden-themed celebration will lead to a 3-day Golden Celebration weekend in May of 2026. Bear-focused events include Woof Week and in April and Key West Bear Weekend in October, both hosted on the property. More details can be found on islandhousekeywest.com. So I think Queer News Tonight should send me on location. And, wouldn't that be fun?
Embedded anchor.
I am totally down with that.
You'll be on a floaty. You're just on a floaty.
I think
in the
that's
pool.
a great idea.
I love it.
I'm here to greet you. So, I've never been, obvious reasons, right? But I have many gay boys that have been there. Many gay boys.
It's a great time.
And they have a great time. They always leave there with a big smile on their face.
Congratulations.
So congratulations on 50 years.
Right?
Wow.
It's it's community centered. It's been it's such an important space, and I think people go just to be there because it feels like home. It feels welcoming, and congratulations.
Well, and now more than ever, Key West has gone through changes. You know what I mean? I have lived here in South Florida for about 25 years, off and on, right? And Key West used to be a gay mecca in itself, and you'd be able to run there and hide and still be with your other queer friends. That's not really the case anymore. A lot of the storefronts have Trump paraphernalia, have Trump shirts up and down. I went there for a Hemingway thing, Ernest Hemingway thing. Yeah, it was a lot. But, places like this still keep, the gay welcome sign, on for folks. And people flock there because of how welcoming they are and how at home they feel, So that's important. 50 years, congratulations.
But it's never inevitable. So support the places that you're happy are supporting you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
LGBTQ 1-minute news. Let's queer up politics. New York State Senate just got a lot gayer. American politician Eric Botcher has been sworn in as New York State's newest senator after winning a special election on February 3rd, taking office February 4th. The former New York City council member represented Chelsea, Hell's Kitchen, and Times Square before running to replace Brad Holman Segal in the 47th district. Celebrating the moment, Democratic Senator Jabari Brisport, posted, quote, "The New York State Senate is now twice as gay. Welcome to Albany, Senator," end quote. Look, like we always say from this table, representation matters. And the more of us that are out there, right, making the laws and making sure that they're fighting for our equal rights, the better, you know? So thank you to all those folks that trusted and voted for this gentleman. And now he gets to represent everyone in New York in a more inclusive way.
Yeah, it's so great to see people like this, pop up in like these, counties and in states where like you feel like that maybe our voices aren't being heard. And then all of a sudden you hear something like this, maybe in like a red state, and you're like, oh, wow, this is great. I kind of expect it from a blue state, but again, it's kind of like more representation. And that's what we need.
New York is big.
Yeah.
New York is very big. Chelsea, all that is just this little area right there.
Exactly. So you get a misperception sometimes of that too. So in the northern part of some states, it could be different.
Yeah.
So
and the representatives should look like their constituents. Like to me, that's really important. That like they're so. I mean, you want someone who's going to respond to the sensitivities of the particular needs of a community, and who better to do that than a member of the community?
Exactly. Like, which is why when Mandani won, we were all elated.
Like this is what New York looks like, and like this. I also feel like imagine the beauty of saying like now I have a peer here, like that is like I sometimes now it's like twice as gay or whatever, but that picture of them is beautiful, like of these two colleagues now who also get to share stories and perhaps even build community.
And nobody else knows what it's like to be a gay congressman more than the other person does. You know what I mean?
I'm sure there's some other gay conferences.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Republicans though. These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. And our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus family.
If our community is important to you, and we know it is, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Now Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including Julio Capo Jr., Edward Otto Zielke, and Chuck King. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a good night.
Good night.
Good night.